a ride home from him one day. She was 15 at the time. We can't name her as she's still a minor. She told us this afternoon stories about how the accused pastor never wore a wedding ring, saying this always made her suspicious. She says to have sex, they'd usually meet close to a mine, nearly 2 blocks away from her house in St. Elizabeth.
Yeah, only give me food stuff and money, 3,000 up to 4,000. More likely a week.
How often you guys would have sex?
Once a month. Yeah, me did afraid and all of that. And then one day, if nobody I got catch you, and one day me asked him, say, if he have a wife. And he said, no, he don't have no wife. And then he said, your wife, they're foreign.
People are saying that your mother had a relationship with him as well. Is that true?
Nothing like that.
She claimed they would have sex in his car. She says he never came by the family's house. The 17-year-old girl says she was always afraid of getting caught, a fear she says he never seemed to have. She got emotional when asked why she did it when she knew it was wrong. She says he gave her regular supplies of groceries and money for the duration of the time they were together. She says they'd ended their relationship. She eventually turned to the matter involving her 15-year-old sister.
After 7, I said, may I beg you to collect it? Because in the team did one go. Hurry up and go and come back. But I go down the gutter. They said, may I beg you to collect something for somebody down the stuff. About 10 minutes after me get called, the Black River police guy.
So you still help?
Yeah, my son see him. You remember me asking, say, how that get fair?
He said, sister, send me. And when he send me, the man said, he not give me the bag like that. He want something. He not going to give him the bag like that. He have to get some. Pull her in the car and break down the back seat and drop her short and go on her and do what he do.
She says she'd asked her to collect groceries from the accused pastor on the night when he was allegedly caught with her by the police. She says her sister told her he demanded sex in exchange for the groceries and dragged her into his parked car. The 17-year-old mother says her younger sister looked embarrassed and upset when she returned home on Sunday, January 1 this year. But she says the younger teen was at first unwilling to say exactly what happened. She says since then, the entire family has been living in turmoil, being pointed out in a crowd by members of Pastor Clark's congregation and being blamed for his arrest. She says persons unknown to them have also been visiting their home. She says that's become the norm. The distraught 17-year-old says she wants to drink poison because she's stressed. She also claimed that another of her sisters, who is now 22 years old, has a 3-year-old child for the pastor. Were unable to independently verify that claim. She says he doesn't support the child financially. We also learned today the mother of the 15-year-old girl the pastor is alleged to have abused is in her 50s. She told us she has 11 children and is a domestic helper. She told us today that she knows nothing about the pastor, except for the one time she'd seen him driving by. She didn't say much about him. The mother says she's always asked her daughter who got her pregnant, but never got a response. She says she got a similar lack of response when she asked her 17-year-old daughter the source of groceries and weekly allowance she got. The mother says the people in the community have been saying a lot of negative things about how she's raised her daughters. She says she's shocked by claims that she allows her daughters to have sex with older men in exchange for money. She also denies being sexually involved with the pastor.
I mean, I know that. Look how hard me work. Clean our damn messy mind, you know.
My girl Santa when supposed to last week. One lady see me, more likely she laugh, you know me, but me don't know her. She a go say, see one of the girl in a car, and them send the pastor man a prison, and them are there all wicked.
She says since the father of her children passed away 11 years ago, she's worked hard to support her 11 children. She says she'll cooperate with the investigators as they build a case against Pastor Clark. In the meantime, the family says they're now living in fear since news broke 2 weeks ago of the allegations of sexual misconduct of the pastor. The police say Clark was found in a compromising position with a 15-year-old girl in his parked car on the night of December 28 in a secluded area in St. Elizabeth. He's since been charged with having sex with a girl under 16 years. Rashawn Thompson, Nationwide News.
In the meantime, the 15-year-old alleged victim and her 13-year-old sister have been placed in state care. This was confirmed to Nationwide News by the children's mother.
Friday, all of us was here, and we saw 2 vehicles came in, and they parked out there, and after they parked out there, they came over, and after they came over now, everybody around that section through around their own school, and they start tax-free, and they started to children come.
How them deal with it now? The way how them behave, I'm not appreciated.
That's the mother and sister of the 15-year-old alleged victim speaking this afternoon with Nationwide News. The mother says her health has deteriorated since the incident. And the embattled principal of the Hampton School for Girls, Heather Murray, has apologized to students for what she calls a breach of common sense. This as she has been heavily criticized for appearing last Wednesday at the bail hearing of the accused child sex abuser, Pastor Rupert Clark, and attempted to shield him from the media.
I went to court, and this is what I'm going to apologize for, the youth of putting Hampton in the wrong. It was a breach of common sense, I believe, on my part.
Mrs. Murray was addressing her students at devotion this morning. She explained that she had gone to the court as a justice of the peace to sign documents relating to the pastor's bail bond. This is different from signing as a surety for the accused pastor. It's understood that this was done by another church member. Mrs. Murray says she obstructed photo and video journalists from taking pictures of Clark because his lawyer had indicated it was illegal to do so.
All of the cameramen know me and know what I stand for. Every last one of them, I know them by name. And when the lawyer turned and said to the cameramen, "Do you know it is illegal to take photographs of prisoners going in and out of the courthouse?" I did not even know that as a justice of the peace. I turned back and unpacked what I did. You may have to know it because it could have been worse. It was a breach of common sense.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Murray says she's very hurt over the allegations against Clark. She's a close friend of his wife.
I am still very hurt that husband could do this to a woman who has put beside him. But someone can something like this to let you down. So therefore, on the day I gave no thought at all. You also know I'm a justice of the peace. And as a justice of the peace, you sign all kinds of documents for people to verify. This is why when you come, we say you have to know you, to verify that you know you, and so forth. And so you don't need to know all about that. I was extremely upset. Maybe I would have gone from the gun, but we are taught to control our emotions.
Heather Murray, principal of the Hampton School. Meanwhile, the opposition spokesman on education, the Reverend Ronald Thwaite, says the criticisms of Mrs. Murray have been overblown.
I understand what Mrs. Murray did, and I think it was unfortunate that she tried to block up a photograph being taken, but I understand her sentiments. I know her well. I know her record as a school principal and her defense of her girls, and feel that the reaction is overblown. She is by no means supporting in any way a violence against minors or women and children.
He's describing Mrs. Murray's move to shield the pastor from the media as you